No, where's my camera? There we go. All right. Sorry for that mishap there. Okay, so let's see what we got today. So, welcome to my Minecraft world. Oh, I was supposed to show that. This here is a wonderful jungle. And eventually, it's going to be covered all in water. And no, not by commands. No, I do not like doing the commands. Because if you command fill by water, you don't know if there's caves hiding in there, or other openings to the underground terrains, or houses that might be hiding in there, or anything else like that, weird little surprise that you might find. But if you do it one square at a time, taking into account water spreading, you end up with some very interesting things. Now, I've been working on this world for about 7 or 8 years now. Little by little, growing the water and expanding the water. And I've now gotten it to, well, pretty high. So I had it as a survivor world, and I built a palace of stuff way over that way. And then at a certain point, there were some problems with the world, and I did a copy and turned it into a creative world, and decided I want to try to do a water palace. And so I came over and found a lake area, a water area, and built this little water palace down here. And I cleared out some of the level and dug down to be able to make it what I wanted. And then we've got this wonderful little glass house underwater. And I filled it with glass, or sand maybe dirt, I don't remember which one it was. But I filled it to be able to clear out all the water. And that was the beginning of this water world. And then at some point I thought, well, how much can I really do with water? And I wanted to try and play and figure out, let's get out of here, what I could do. And so I slowly started expanding. And just so you can see, we've got trees over here underwater. And trees don't grow underwater. I mean, you can build them underwater, but, they don't start underwater. Now, I had my lowest one around here was at level 66, or position 66. And that's important because I was trying to figure out how many levels of blocks, how far did I make this, how deep. And this was the biggest part that I started with originally. And you can see there's some over there, and there's some over there, and there's more there, and there's more everywhere, right? So this is the biggest area that I had originally started with. And it was getting frustrating because this was back when there weren't as many controls. And this is all on a PlayStation. So it was on PlayStation 4. And there weren't as many controls for the weather, to be able to stop the snow and things like that. Those came later. And so I was struggling against ice over in this area. And I just kept fighting it until I just decided to start moving on. So I did some other things. And so you can see through the water how much is actually down there and how high I've actually brought it. Now, you can say I've learned a lot about water mechanics and how it grows and how the waves expand and things like that. And I still have a lot of unfinished expanding water in a variety of different areas. And one of those is over here because I was working on part of this earlier today to get ready for a very interesting task. So you see, here's a whole lot of stuff that I have that's ready to go and is growing and expanding. And there's more up there. And that's all good and fun. And this comes out all the way across because I was trying to connect that jungle area to the other jungle area that's over there. And you can see what's down there. And I've got it out to, where's that last one over here? There we go. That's as far as I've brought it on this side of things. I think I've got it a little bit further on the other side, but not much. But I've got all about there, and it spreads out a little bit further there. Right, there we go. So that's about as far out as it goes over here. Now, this whole area you can see there's lots of foundational pieces down there. You can see that there are trees, and there are trees, and there are trees, and there's more jungle over there that I haven't quite reached out to yet, but I'm getting there. That's going to be coming soon. But this is one big major jungle area that I little by little consumed and built up. So you can see there are trees all the way there, all the way through here. Now the jungle area is some of the hardest to do, besides the winter forests, because there are so many little hidden crevices and so many areas growing with leaves, and you have to get in between the little crevices and stuff, because if you don't fill all the holes, the water won't spread right. It'll find an empty pocket, and so then you have to go on a hunt for those empty pockets. And eventually I decided to start artificially expanding some areas. This would be the natural growth based upon regular water placement of things, but it doesn't look as nice as it does to me when it's smooth, the edges. And so I figured out, well, you know what? One of the other additions that they made was water expanding downward as well, besides the left and right. So if you don't know water expansion, you should, right? One block there, and those waters will replicate and then create those two. And then you can, if you're in survival mode, take one and keep using it, replicating more, and it'll grow back. And that's the way the water dynamics work. It works and allows it to grow. And so effectively, as long as you have 2 bricks of water, you have infinite water. You can create as much as you want and keep going from there. But in creative mode, you can just do whatever. Physics, I should say, still work. So I like to have it look a little bit squarer as I'm doing it. So I'll artificially expand the tree structure a little bit to give the water dynamics smoothed out like that. And that's just to do everything. And since it does do vertically 1 block as well, that was a nice add-on that happened more recently. That makes things a little bit easier. It means I have to do less work to get everything how I like to have it. And when you learn about the way the water structure is, you learn that the block is placed here at the top, and then it'll slant down to show the edge. And so you only want to line up where you're placing your water to be in that same position so that it expands the same way. I think I did 3, right? Yeah, okay. So now I don't really need this because all of this is going to go away. But that's generally the artificial expansion that I would do for some of these. But then there are some times where I wanted to connect bigger pieces that were close together to make it a little bit more like some of this. I had done that with to be able to connect to other pieces, like from this one to that one, right underneath there. And then you get to the point where it's like, I had this big section over here, and I said, I want to connect those two. And so I created a bridge tunnel of leaves from here to there. And it wasn't square. You can see this is the last of the expansion that's still waiting to go. And there's some down there. So it was all stepped and stepped and stepped and stepped all the way up to over here. And so I've recently made all of those expansions to bring it to this point. Now, why? Well, I wanted to have a bit of fun with this big chunk. That is, I don't know, close to 20 blocks high, somewhere around there. Right? I'm sure I know we could count it, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, around 20-ish blocks high, maybe even more. Anyways, a nice, massive chunk of water. And we're going to get it to move. We're going to get it to go. And I prepped that because I got it all the way close to here, and I left one little spot down here. And so that wall that I'd done is all connected all the way up and down, except for this one little area that I left alone. And that's why I said if you miss an air pocket in one spot, it won't go. Everything up above, it won't go. So now we're going to fill this air pocket and break these container pieces that are holding their placeholders, and then we'll go over to the edge of the water and watch it do its wondrous tidal wave like work. So here we go. Boom, 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 and there we go. It successfully did that. And now let's follow this out and watch as it goes and creates our nice massive. Now I've seen videos where they've done tidal waves on command, and they do them from the top crest forming and going down that way. But when you do it organically, it goes from the bottom up. Now that should clip. There we go. I wasn't sure if it was stuck or something, but it should be able to expand all the way. Now, as you can see, like I said, I've got lots of expansions that I've been doing in a lot of different places, and growth that has not completed in a lot of those places. And because you kind of work in an area, the water, the expansion only reaches so far. It has to be within a certain range of your active position for it to keep going. And so to follow this and to get it all to go, as you can see there, it's stopped because that corner is too far away. So if I move closer to the middle, that will get me to where it wants to be so I can keep going. Now, this may seem kind of strange, but it was a thing. I wanted to see what the physics would do. How far can you really take? How much is it going to go? Does it drastically affect the performance of the game? Does it change the way things happen in the world? And I mean, a lot of the stuff that happens in the world is settings driven, so you can change a lot of that. But other than that, it doesn't change the biomes underneath. The underlying biome is still there. I was running across a section of water in which a sand rabbit spawned at the top of the water. And the animals won't spawn unless you're in that area. And the appropriate animals spawn in their appropriate biomes. So it was still in the desert biome, even though it was completely underwater. So that was kind of interesting. So I'll have this huge flat plane of water. We'll let this little corner section expand all the way out. And as you can see, that section is not going anywhere because we're not close enough. So we got to move closer to get that whole corner to go. Now, it's unfortunate because we won't be able to watch all of it to go because we have this other section up here to go. So let's go and follow this piece first. It's not as big, but it's still as interesting for the overall concept of what we're looking at and seeing, just infinite. It's infinite. And, I've covered lots of area and it keeps going. It just keeps going. So the physics are fantastic. It doesn't care how much you're using, how much you're working with. It's structured to do it. The only limit is, like I said, the active space that it can go. So it's a pretty interesting engine for the simplicity of it, for what it can do. And, I wish they would let lava do the same. That would be kind of fun, just to see a spreading lava world. But unfortunately, lava does not work that way. It doesn't have the replication physics that water does, which I guess is good because, then you'd end up with an entire lava world, and that would be kind of scary. But, and that's the end of that section there. Cool. All right. The ledge there. As you can see, yep, it keeps on going. And I've found houses and caves and a lot of the lit up areas. When I find a cave, I will cover parts of it in glass and mark it with a door. I gotta get the night vision potions. So I'll mark it and cover it to lock away that corner if I find a cave, or I might put a door nearby. Yeah, it's like when you're above water, you can see fine. When you get underwater, I haven't done a lot of underwater exploring after the fact. They changed the physics a while back, and then I haven't really done a lot of exploring from there. But yeah, so here's a tree that's down. You can see this is at level 63 even over here, so this was even lower here than the other one was. Ooh, I heard something growling. Oh, that's that guy. Yeah, and of course, as you expand the water, different water creatures will spawn in those areas, sometimes right away. I've 62. Ooh, even further. Like I said, I have not added any trees, so all the trees that are here were here. So unless they were partly underwater, and that's 61. That's now a record for me for the water height that's grown. And of course, like again, those creatures were not here in the land area. Now, obviously, as the land is covered with water, the dirt will undo the grass will go away and it'll become just dirt instead. So all this was grass and sand combinations. Yeah, so you can see, yeah, that's the only way to keep those staying there is putting a light on top. I forget which one that is, but otherwise the water that would be there would wipe it out. I think that protected it around there, or I might have done it around it. I forget how I did that. But that was before a lot of the changes. So a lot of this area was some of my earliest stuff. So let's get us back out of here and back to where we were. If we can find ourselves. And let's see. So that's over there. I'm pretty sure the corner I was working with is over here. Yep, there we go. Okay. So this is the middle section that we're trying to get back to the expansion before that other big wave back there, right? Yeah, so that's the big wave. Let's try and pull away from that as much as we can and only get this other section. There we go. We've stretched away from that back area, and let's pick up that last little piece right there and get close enough to get that without getting that back one back. There we go. Okay, little creeper, come on. It'll catch up, and then I'll give us a nice big section to go for long, long ways, just to see where it's gonna go and what it's gonna do. I mean, I know where it's gonna go and I know what it's gonna do, but yeah, it's kind of massive, kind of amazing, you know, just on conceptual levels. I mean, it's such a simple game and such a simple thing, you know. It's people have done some amazingly complex stuff with this game, and this was just something I wanted to try. Usually the music is down low, but I think right now it's pretty fitting. Yeah, it's pretty fitting. And let's see where we're gonna go. I know a lot of that, we'll keep that expanding as we come out with the other wave as well. So a lot of that other lower levels. And the intent is trying to get as much of it to expand to there. And now I know my top level over there is a little bit higher than what the big wave is going to expand. And it's not even the highest point that I'm going to get to. I did the measurement, and one of the trees over there is about 8 blocks taller than the other tallest tree that I have, the tallest point that I have underwater at this point. So when I get to getting this portion of the jungle underwater, then it's going to be able to do some even more things, even higher, expand it up even higher. And I may, right, yes, so our wave now, right, so the intention then is all of this is going to reach all the way over there with what we've done back there, right? So that's what's going to happen. All of this, it's, yeah, those levels will still stop there because we didn't extend those here, but all of that height and all of this height, all of that will come and be brought all the way to here. So we'll have this taller, much taller ledge on that edge right here, all the way up to there. This one reaching that height. So look at about 10, 20 blocks added to that height, right? So let's zoom back over there as fast as it will take us. Now it will take several trips to get it all, just because of the breadth of the wave section that we're doing. But as we said, right, all the way over. And part of what I really wanted to see is just watching it consume these smaller structures that I had covered. Oh no, it's gonna get me. And right, it's just a massive piece of water. So I'm trying to find the sweet spot of where I'm close enough to get the farthest edge there, and to get the farthest edge that it'll go over there. And yeah, it'll probably take about 2, hopefully just 2, but this will be slow walks because that's a lot of squares. So that's the only other part. So yeah, I'm on PS5, so the physics for it are pretty good. The graphics and brain for it is pretty good, but still, it's a lot of work for it to do to expand those. It's checking every single block and growing every single block in 2 directions. So it's doing a lot of work all at once. And so this is probably some of the heaviest tasking for what the system can process. That's hundreds, maybe 1,000 or 2, given the breadth of, probably hundreds still, just hundreds. But generating hundreds of water blocks continuously. Actually, no, yeah. So we're looking at 20, so 5 across. Yeah, no, we're probably over thousands. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it. That's going like about 50 across. That's 1,000 times our 20. Let's say 50. I can probably sit and count, but yeah, I'm not going to count it. Woo. It just keeps going. It'll just keep going. And, it's just kind of, it's scary to think about, right? If you would see a wave of water like this coming towards you. And that's one of the videos I was watching earlier. So I was looking to see if anyone's ever done this. And I saw that they did a bunch of the commands to generate water and to fill up pools and things like that. But I haven't seen anything that is doing this. And so again, this has been manually done. I did 2 2 planes of water at the far corner way over there. Just I wanted to see, because that's the first I learned that the command system was out there for what this would do. And so I just tried it out a little bit. And then that's when I understood that, yes, it could work. But, if I wanted to connect big sections, then maybe. But for the most part, I've done it organically. Everything else has been by hand, 1 block at a time. If I've expanding areas like this, then I'll build leave bridges and connect the waters that way, and do just like I showed you earlier, where little by little connect it and it'll keep growing. And so there's been plenty of places where I did some artificial expansions with the leaves, or originally I was using glass and lights, and until they changed leaves to contain water. It didn't used to contain water, and so once it contained water, it's like, oh, that makes things a little bit easier, because the glass or any of the other bricks, you put water on one side, then you have to break it for it to expand the other direction. Whereas with the leaves, it'll auto expand both directions at the same time, because it fills it and it lets it spill out. So that made things a little bit easier to make sure that your wall was working right, or your area was working right. So I switched to using leaves for any of the times that I would do that. And it was kind of a little more fun breaking them too when you needed to. But yeah, we get a lot of expanding water. It just keeps going. It just keeps going, right? It's fun to watch. It's interesting to think about. It's kind of peaceful. You hear all the lapping of the waves. If you haven't lived by water, I do. I'm by the ocean, and I've visited the beach plenty of times, and you can hear the crashing of the waves. And so if you haven't, you can turn the music down and just hear the sound effects of the water spreading, and it'll sound kind of like that. It's pretty close. Definitely a lot more powerful in person for seeing a real ocean wave. Both for the way it sounds and the beauty of it, the feel of it, but you can get the sound kind of close to here. And we've reached the edge of the tallest section. And that was kind of the thing I thought about the most at one point was, how far will the reach go for a single layer of water? And so that I would have to, right, if I raise it up, extend it somewhere else, and then how far do I have to walk it to get it to reach? Is it going to reach across, I don't know, however far? And then I've gotten it pretty spectacularly far already. And then the idea was, am I going to be able to get it to spread right so that I can reconnect these other places like this where there's no reach up to here yet, but will I get something that's down there that connects to something else that eventually will cross back and connect over to here? Obviously, I'll have to walk the spreading across like I'm doing now to see it happen, but that was the idea, was will it eventually do that? And organically, yes, some, but some will still have to be manufactured. Now, we just heard a spin up my other computer. My computer is coming online, so on. Does this all the time. Just a moment here. Okay, we'll get that to shut down here in a second. While we're waiting, libations are always a good thing. Okay, so where were we? It got to expand to there. Got a little bit more to that corner. And that one's coming from way over there where I had expanded and got it to go a little bit more. And so this is what I mean of the natural structure of, you get a little bit, and you can artificially expand it to make it squirt out. But when you're just doing big areas, you just kind of left it. I would just kind of leave it alone. But when I did some of the tree structures, I wanted them to look a lot nicer, and those have been there for a long time. I've left those alone from when I did those way back when. I don't know how long ago. a long time ago, and so that's why those are there, not looking nice and square. Let's get those to finish up. Obviously we could do more from that, but we want to let this section finish up as well, so that we can expand our reach a little bit better back down there. Now I believe the music changed because of shifting biomes. Come on. So as I said, this has been little by little, one brick at a time, over the course of, I was looking back at some of the, as I said, this was a copy from a survival world, and some of the first pictures that I took from the survival world was back about 8 years ago. So that was a couple of years worth of work. I think it was about 2 years I had worked on the world a little bit before that. And then it was, I don't know, maybe a year or so, maybe 2, when I spawned this world, a copy of that one, and started the water world expansion. So it's about 6 years. I'd say about 6 years that I've been working on this. Little by little, some months more and some months less. So you can see here's one of the leaf bricks that I forgot to break from my expansion structures. So let's take that back out, and we'll come back over here and watch as it consumes another existing structure. Oh look, we totally missed that little corner there. Oh well, that's all right. We'll get it this time. So I'm gonna bet it's gonna be a third time, but we won't do that. We'll just do the second one, and then we'll call it a quits for now. So I wanted it to get as close to the edge of that jungle section as we can, and I knew it was going to take a bit to get there. And yeah, just think, right? If you're sitting there and you see this humongous wave of water, so we can figure it out, right? Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to that one down there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 gets us to there. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24, and that's just from that one. So, yeah, that was on this. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. That's to here. Right, about 33, 34 to that one. And then there's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 more there. So that's 50. That's 50 from there to up there. Yeah, that's 50. And yeah, I think that's what I counted was 50 earlier. And approximately 2 squares is the size of the character. So that's about the size of an average person, or approximately the size the average person is 2 squares. So 25 times that. I do US standard measurements, so we're looking at about 6 foot at 25. Yeah, that's 150 feet tall. 150 foot tall wave of water coming at you. So that's about 25 meters, right? 25 meter tall wave of water. Yeah, that's pretty massive. Oh, we messed it up. We messed it up because we went and counted and then didn't pick it up. Right? Right. I want to get at least to here. So we'll let this one pick up, and then we'll go back and catch up. I'll come back later and get those little straggler pieces, but we want to get at least the big piece. So we're trying to get it to as close as we can to connect to that other section of jungle, to see it looming above us at the edge of that jungle, and knowing that eventually it will be consumed with water as well. Now we're back to our peaceful music. So yes, we are different biome. I don't. I a lot of times would do it with the music low, so I wouldn't really hear it all. I'm just hearing the splash of the water as I'm replicating it, and brain's working fast, trying to think of, okay, which one's next? Which one's next? Did I get that part? Did it cover there? Whee! And we did get this edge back. We kind of lost some of that lower level. That's all right. We've got the bulk section. The lower levels will be easier. It's a lot less water for it to move. So expanding that one will be a bit easier. So yeah, 50 blocks just in this water level here. As I said, it was about 70 was the count that I had from block 66, depth 66 to 136 for the height of the tree way back there. And then the other tree over here, the jungle tree, was about 8 blocks taller than that. It's a lot of water. And one of the other projects I found, I finally came close to a village. I hadn't really been around many of the villages in this whole area. You know, they're kind of spread out. Found one hut here or there, little things like that, tiny small ones, but not a full-on whole village. And then I finally did. And so I decided to give it an underwater cage, well, dome structure. So I've got 3 of the 4 walls done, and the roof is ready to go. I haven't finished the roof yet, but it was close. Wasn't really even close to the water. It was just in view of where I'm coming. And it's like, oh, this would be a nice diversion, change up what I was working on, and just so get some of that. So here we go. We've finally gotten to our jungle area to present our impending water wall. Our reach is spreading, and it's getting close to the end as we go further and further, and more trees are in the way. And because I haven't started expanding over here for a long time. I did some wrapping around at the other end, I remember, and it was just kind of like that. You find different places, different spots that were just kind of interesting things to try, to see. And it's mostly just the same stuff over and over, but it's still not, because every area is a little bit different. As you can see, I did do some expanding down in the lower levels down there, way back at some point. That's the edge of that one. We're almost at the edge. Almost. There's the last corner here and the corner there. And done for here. There's a little bit more that we'll expand down there. But this is really what I was trying to get. This massive impending wall of water here that has immense reach, right? I mean, if you're sitting here in this jungle and you see that wall of water coming, I mean, that would be something scary. And it's crazy how you can see through the water just fine. Once you go in, it gets foggy. It's foggy. The water, the vision dynamics are really interesting. And you can see some of the structures that I've made, some of the places where I've put light blocks to find different places. I thought it'd be easy to find, which when I'm above the water it is, but under the water not so much. Right? So those different things that I've put in, that's still, I think that's clouds up there really. And there you go. There you can see the jungle, that portion of the jungle over there. Trees that are all underwater. See the top level of the water over there to really get a scope of how much. Oops, wrong one. I want to do this. Come on. Up. You're not going up. All right, we'll do it this way. I think I have to have the wings equipped for it to do what else. Really. Yep. Goes further that way. All over there. At one point, because I was trying to deal with the ice problem, I decided to try and build a roof over this whole section. And so I built this up and I started framing. We'll come over here real quick because this was where I had some of it actually started to flesh out. Again, one brick at a time. So this was a roof that I was going to start to make and started making in an effort to stop the ice before they added settings to be able to control it. So yeah, that jungle is way over there. We can't see it anymore. I've expanded some of that all the way over there. Right, all of that layer has was lifted up. You can see there's more. There's more over here. All of this. Little diversions. Find a little corner to work on. Let's see where we'll go. Find another little corner to work on. Let's see where this will go. This whole section would be easy to finish up once I do. Once I come back over here. The jungle has been distracting me for a long time, so yeah. Right, all the way to there. I think this is about the farthest this way because I just started seeing some of this. I don't think I've expanded any of that or that. I think that's all, yeah, that's all pre-existing. There's a cave that I haven't blocked off. That just hasn't generated. There we go. But so yeah, that is, I think, the farthest corner there. That goes around to there. Oh yeah, some of this I expanded up and I stopped before it was going to spill over and run down. That's why I stopped that there. So this has been grown. As you can see, that line there shows. So all of that. All right, so that's the farthest on this side. See if you can go a little bit faster here. And we're just about done for today. This has been a lot. I know, it's a lot. You can see there's some more expansion right there. Water levels. I don't think I added anything to that. I think it was just to there, to the stop. I do think it was to here. Yeah, that was added. Yeah, well, see, there's my covering the lava and other such things because I filled in some of that. That water I think is au naturel. But so some of this was expanded on. I was looking to enwrap the whole forest because I knew I had over to that corner and it was connecting back over to here. So I was working on some of that. So there's some more underground covered there. A beacon from my starting point, because my starting point is over that way, my original house that I built. And I want to make sure to know where to go to get back to it. And here was the trees that gave me the hardest problem initially. They probably still will, because yeah, trees are just, there's just so many, and it's hard to, you got to move around and move around and move around, and it takes a lot of planning, a lot of thought on which bricks to place to make sure it expands right, make sure you get the trees in, the water freezing on you being a problem back then. And over here, this section was where I extended. I did 2 planes to extend the water just to see how it was going to go. So that's why some of this was extended from about there. I think I had manually done that. So I would say maybe where that light wall is. I tried doing some of my own, but about from there, I did 1 long plane. I had already filled up that mountain, so I think I connected this mountain to that big wall of water. That was it. That was really it. So yeah, establishing the wall. I mean, I could have done the same thing with the leaves, and that was also. I know there's replace sections, and there's commands for that, but no, it's been all one at a time, one little piece at a time. So we'll do. Oh, there's some more growing that wants to grow. And you see, there's more that wants to grow over here. Oh yeah, this is the other city. So we'll come over here. We'll take a look over here, see what this is, and do some growing over here. This is preparing for that. Really, that was all of that has been added. There was no water over here. That was, again, what I planned there. This was added. That was not underwater at all. All of that was added. So, yeah. A lot. So I think here we're just have gotten to the point where this water section connects with that water section, yes. So we could go and go 1 more. So I think I've edged the water here, where I was doing it like that. Yes, there we go. So we go like this. That won't connect across. I'm looking at the easiest way to connect from here to there, and that will be from down there again. So we'll go and go. As you can see, it didn't connect here, so we'll come back to make sure. And so again, if you're unfamiliar how water works, we'll just do this real fast. We take 1 and we go at a corner like this, and go 2, and that will recreate to 4. Now we're not seeing it, so we'll do it this way. We'll do a proper experiment to demonstrate water expansion. So we'll create a space of 4 contained squares. Okay, 4 contained squares. We put water in one corner and water on another corner. And the physics are is if the water is 1 square apart in any direction, it will replicate and fill in that direction, and that includes going upwards as well. So if I try to take it away, it's really tricky to take it away. You got to do it fast. Right? So now I only have this 1 block of water that way. So if I do 1 here, like that, it filled in that one down there now as well. So now those 2 are filled in, right? And so I could do 1 more now over here, and that will fill that one, which will then finally fill that one. So it's not too hard to understand, and it's easy enough to get. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and leave that there because we'll use that here in a second. We'll get rid of our added glass. But you have to go around corners. You have to make sure to go around every corner, fill in every spot. And since the leaves do allow water going through now, if you fill a line of leaves, they will consider the opposite ends as expansion ends. So, yeah. And it will grow. And there we go. Have we reached the edge? We have. So now we can go, and it was just enough to hook it there. And I can go like this. Oop. And I will run all the way along. This will be the easiest to get it to expand to the right. I'll still have to expand it down and around trees and whatnot. And you can often end up going faster than what the expansion will let you do. So now I've got it going a lot over there. Then we want to double back and make sure that all of our little crevices are filled in like that. And just to make sure it gets in between those areas. So a lot of times those little corners will be the parts that it has the hardest time with. And going around trees, I'm going to make sure to go, oh, it picked it up. Good, good, good. You gotta make sure to bring it around the trees correctly, because sometimes it won't. And we like to fill in the leaves if you can. It's usually not too hard. It's easy enough to see from underneath which ones are filled and which ones aren't, so that when we fill it in, right, those little air pockets go away. And again, in creative mode, it's super easy. In survival mode, this would be a much more daunting task because you have to pick up water and put water down. You have to take one that was created and add one. So yeah, that would be a much more daunting task to do this in survival mode. I definitely would not want to try. It's hard enough trying to do this in creative mode. There, we've got a nice little take, and that will go all the way along there. And then we'll drag it across our grassland like this. Make sure we go around this corner. Make sure we expand that one. And that one. Got it up there. Oh, and look, now we're actually above because we didn't finish this over here. So we'll come back here to finish this section. All the way to there. Got a little corner pocket there we want to cover in. Corner pocket there we want to cover in. Around our tree leaves here. That little ones, the little corner pockets are the ones that will always get you if you don't check for them. Our animals will spawn, they'll float, swim, or drown. Up to them. The forested areas tend to have lots of little spots you have to be careful about.
I don't know that.
Sorry, that was my talking device. Yeah, the forested areas have a lot of little spots that you have to make sure to get. And I've done this enough to know what to look for. Obviously, if I've been doing this for that many years, I hope I know what to look for at this point. And yes, I move pretty fast with it because I know what I'm doing, right? And that should have gotten all of that spot that we had missed. So now I can come back to the one that I was growing and continue it. So you can see bit by bit, and this is the way I've been doing it for 6 years. Is it tiresome? It's kind of relaxing. It's productive. You can see the progress that you're making. You don't think about the big picture. Don't think about the big picture. All right, just, I'm just going to work on this one section right now. And, it works. Checked to make sure you're thorough. Make sure you don't miss any details. Now, I can see there's one right there that looks like it's going to be tricky. I want to take this out. That one little corner, I wasn't sure. I can see the water still flowing wrong. And I can't quite get that angle from there. So, this is a trick that I figured out later. I'm going to get rid of this dirt, and that's why I have this other dirt here. Slide myself down in. Come on. There we go. Get myself down in. Now I can get the angle right and make sure I get into that crevice. Do a couple more. Make sure I've got all those in there. All right. I mean, I know I can access that side, and then go ahead and put it back. And the water will eventually get rid of that grass. That's why the other sections when we were looking underwater before, they were all dirt. Well, the water sitting on top of the dirt is going to get rid of the grass. That's what it does. Just a secondary physics aspect of the system that just works. It just works. Right? The seeds get the little plants. All these little plants will get washed away and generate seeds for us. Not that we need any of them. Once we're expanding correctly, things will connect and cross-connect. We can fill in the tree leaves so that those will go. Connect our little sections inside. Wrap around this tree here. Make sure we're all going there. And we'll get to a point, we'll pause. This looks like a tree I haven't filled in. Hopefully it won't be causing problems. We'll get to a point, we'll pause and examine. Well, where are we? We get to like this, all right? Well, we're kind of stuck into there. We'll pop out. Take a look where we're going to next. Looks like a little tricky spot right back there. So let's make sure we get into this little tricky spot like that. Right? Whee! Ooh. That was something big. Now sometimes you end up with that. I don't know how I got there. I don't know how it let me do that. I'm going faster in movement positioning than what the game can keep track of, and it just says put a water down at your current target. And unfortunately that target is a not a legal target. Otherwise, if I was moving normal speed. Now I know I didn't fill in everything there, and I didn't really need to drag that all the way across. And we've got the little spots there. Come on. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Make this one over here. There we go. Get that across there. There we go. And mostly, we want to make sure we get the deep hidden pathways in the middle. The other big open sections should connect major portion from the other side. But coming through all the trees here like this. Now that seems a bit loud. I want to adjust my volume real quick. That's been bugging me for a minute. I'm not even sure where to do it at. There we go, audio. Come on. That's a little better. It was a little loud for our recording. I probably should have checked that earlier just to see. We got that section squared away. Still missed one somewhere over here. There we go. Got that one squared away. There we go. Almost there. Close. I can feel it. What did we miss? Oh. We're at the front end. So this is the kind of thing I was talking about. So we have this other section to connect, and it will flow over to connect there if we've got it right, but we're missing that one for you. And we're missing these here. There we go. Now we'll back connect across here. Bing. Get that filled in. Okay, that was filled in. That one is filled in. Bring this around here. Right. That gets us across to you. Whee. Oh, we're still behind trees. Almost there. Do a long kitty corner like this. Let's see if we connected it all. We missed one way back here because of that bush or something. So we've got land there blocking. So we'll just finish up this last area. And like I said, the animals will spawn according to their biome location. And this biome says horsies. Even though it's underwater, and the horsies do okay in their swimming. Funny parts is seeing the trader coming with his two camels, horses most of the time. Ooh, almost there. Let's see, all that's through there, all that's through here. Oh, this is going to weave in to connect back here. Where is this going to go? Ah, there's an edge that we've gotten to there. So I'll leave the rest of that like that. That's a spot to deal with later. Overlooking to make sure we've got everything here. That's what I see. I see these little corners like that. Be thorough. Be careful. And everything will go pretty well. So we now have, oh, is that, are we blocking there? Oh, look. Oh. We're too far away. We already saw that happening. So we're going to have a problem with this one, so we'll make sure we get this wrapped up nicely as that expansion is coming. And sometimes it wants to behave and sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Boom. And that's our actual edge. Right, wasn't quite enough to reach that one, but it will be soon. All that replicated there. Oh, look, we missed this one on the other layer. And so I can come in and say bada bing. Oh, I didn't want to break the dirt block, just the actual dirt or weeds. Okay, so I'm looking at my edged wall here as you are the furthest in that I want to go. And we'll do it like that. Now I'll edge you to there. Now, how do I get that? Well, it should come. Oh, we missed one over here. we go. If I extend that all the way over, that will get me to keep it going all the way to here and extend it around to there. That will get me over to here. And then I have to get all the way down to there to get it. And this is the trick of it. This is the trick of it, right? Finding different ways, different places to keep the water going, to keep it going. See, the alternative is then I bring it to here like this and wrap it around and wrap it around, wrap it around and bring it all the way down to here, which wouldn't be too hard. Let's fill this section in right here. That'll help us deal with probably a couple levels. There we go. That would get us our water all the way to this point line, right? This line, which is close to that one, but which means it would get us to here. And then we can bring it around to this all the way, which definitely would get us to intersect to there, and then expand and fill across the rest of that. So that would be the way, and then that ends up bringing that whole level all the way to there, right? And allows us to cross connect and go all the way and have it connect all of those pieces. So there we go. Way more than you wanted to know about water, I am sure. But it's I don't know. It's immense. It's fantastic on what it does. It's kind of scary at the same time. It's kind of beautiful and simple, and yeah, I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna keep going. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it takes me eventually. Eventually, we'll see. Maybe we'll come up with a better interactive AR controller to make this work faster and smoother. And we'll move it over to I don't know what, PlayStation 7 or 8. I know 6 is the next one, but I'm going past that, right? In like 10 years. Nah, I guess like one per 10 years. So maybe there'll be like PS7 at that point. But there's lots to do, lots to keep doing, lots to keep me occupied, and to have fun with. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked, and enjoy your times in Minecraft world. Whatever you decide to do, building cities, building roads, building fantastical structures that are awesome, duplicates of our reality. Beyond that, I think someone did a Hogwarts castle recently. That was pretty interesting. But for me, it's water. Why water? Water just works. So thanks for watching. Until next time, play safe and have fun. All right. Bye for now.